This is an audio recording of an X Space courtesy of thecoinrepublic.com, the go-to place where you can keep up to date with what's happening in the crypto space.
Tokenmetrics AI analyzes millions of data points to uncover hidden gems, delivering buy and sell signals you can trust. Our AI spots tokens before they moon, helping you stay ahead in the fast-paced crypto world. Join tens of thousands of investors who have taken their portfolios to the moon and beyond.
I want to welcome everybody to the coinrepublic.com Crypto Pulse. So this is hosted by the coinrepublic.com. They are a crypto news website, been going for about 7 or 8 years. So if you want to find out what's happening in the crypto space, the coinrepublic.com. And just want to let you know that none of this is investment advice. Nothing that I'm going to say here or Alex is going to say should be considered as investment advice. And you should all do your own due diligence before you put any of your money into any particular venture, whether it's crypto or not crypto. I just want to bring on our guest, Alex Chepurnoy, who's the lead dev for Ergo platform. And Alex, I'm going to start by asking you in Hindi or Urdu, "Aap kaise hain?"
सब ठीक है और आप?
Sab theek hai aur aap. Right, now, there's a little background to this because Alex's handle on Telegram is Kushti Kushti. And I remember, Alex, the first time I interviewed you on my channel, you started speaking to me in Hindi.
Right.
Yeah, you've lived in India. You lived in India for how long?
Half a year in total, probably. Yeah, like 5 or 6.
Yes. And whereabouts are you now in the world?
So I'm in Russia, and didn't attend the recent token, but was there 1 year ago. It was huge, so yeah, it's good to hear that this year it's even bigger. Developing a lot these days, so it's hard to travel. So yeah, the internet helps with staying connected when in development mode. So a lot of things going on. So yeah, busy with development. How about you? So last time we had a talk back in 2020, probably.
Yeah, I think it was ages ago, ages and ages ago. And I used to do videos on Ergo quite regularly. And now I've started doing these weekly spaces. And I thought, well, I should invite Ergo platform. I should invite Alex Chepurnoy back on. Now, the coinrepublic.com came out of India, but it's published in English. So, but a lot of the team and a lot of their connections are in India and in Dubai. But blockchain is international, and I think Ergo, and the coin is Ergo, and it's just an incredible project. So many people listening to this won't know about Ergo platform. So do you want to start by giving us just some basics about it?
All right, and yeah, well, a lot of things changed since 2020. So well, the community is totally different, probably. So after 2021, yeah, a lot of new people arrived. So well, the community grown by I don't know, 10x to 50x maybe back in 21, and then yeah, well, there was a period of quite modest growth, but now it seems there is revived interest to, well, the original roots of cryptocurrency movements, and Ergo is, I think, about the original vision, right? Well, implemented in tech, I believe. So yeah, it's proof of work cryptocurrency. It's you take but reading from scratch. There is support for cryptographic protocols in the core as application. So then a lot of privacy enabling applications possible. So we discussed back in 2020 the non-custodial, non-interactive mixer, right, which was the first application done, and well, now it's also supporting stealth addresses, but we also got the full DeFi stack So decentralized exchanges, decentralized auctions, and in many cases it's not just DeFi, right? Because it's now quite fuzzy term. So often it's about, I don't know, some applications which are on the blockchain, but having admin keys, right, all that stuff. So in case of Ergo, so many applications actually peer-to-peer. So
Okay, Alex,
it's called
Alex,
peer-to-peer fi. So yeah,
hold
it's a
on a
truly
second.
option.
Alex,
Yeah,
hold on a second. Hold on a second. So let me just say back some of what you've said. So it's a proof of work coin. It has
right.
its own. It has its own blockchain. It's UTXO, so it uses unspent transactions in the same way that Bitcoin does. It has privacy features. And the other thing that I remember about it is that it's a decentralized project because you just released the code. You didn't do an ICO or a token or a coin raise or anything like that. So it's
Right. But now it's even better. So yeah, even in regards with releasing the codes and decision making. So currently, well, all the proposed protocol updates are soft forkish, right? So well, there is no even breaking um updates which are enforced by developers, right? Like done often. So we are quite following the paradigm of soft forkability. So yeah, I think it's quite important, and to the best of my knowledge, not now any application got broken during protocol updates, and well, we are continuing to stick to that, right? So to provide non-breaking updates to application developers to avoid community splits and well, nasty events like that.
okay. And what sort of take me through some of the well, actually, let me just say something because the other thing, it is privacy focused. You got stealth addresses. It allows for anonymous transactions,
Yeah,
which
but
is
yeah, I'm sorry, but it's not really privacy focused, right? So it's just, I mean, it's optional, so it's supported, so that
right.
there is support for cryptographic protocols, but yeah, well, it's up to people, right, to use well privacy focused applications or not. But yeah, well, there are a lot of other things here in regards with privacy and so on. But yeah, let's discuss them a bit later. Sorry for
Okay.
interrupting.
Okay. Well, what do you, for people who don't know anything about Ergo, what would you say to them about it as a sort of introduction?
All right, so it's digital gold with contracts, right? So well, it's enabling self sovereignty and empowering communities.
Right. Okay.
That's probably it.
So it's so it's a proof of work coin that
Yeah.
allows for smart contracts, so applications can be built on it. But what
Uh,
advantages does it have over other smart contracts?
Right, but it's not just about smart contracts, right? So, well, there is support for contractual capabilities, right? So, well, there are stable coins here, decentralized exchanges on the DeFi stack. But yeah, I'm also tracking, well, what's going on in the Bitcoin ecosystem, right? So, they are trying to do all the time some quite amazing things, but often failing, right, because of limitations in the Bitcoin protocol. So the idea here is to actually allow for different off-chain applications, on-chain smart contracts, cryptographic protocols, right? So what people try to do with Bitcoin but failed now possible. So well. It's about privacy applications, right? So people try to build non-custodial, non-interactive mixers, failed, but yeah, on Ergo we have Ergo mixer since 2020. Then decentralized exchanges, right? So people trying to do something since 2012. So yeah, I'm around Bitcoin development since 2012, early 13. So yeah, well, on Ergo you have well working exchanges, but then yeah, what people are now trying to do there on Bitcoin is to get private off-chain cash, for example, backed by Bitcoin reserves, right? And that's also quite challenging. And well, on Ergo, that's possible. So I think that's the next well enabler, right? So for wider adoption, when you can run, for example, community currency, right? Exchange private off-chain cash and have some on-chain reserves attached, right? Or well, have well, additional monetary tools, community currencies, and so on, and well, having Bitcoin blockchain with Ergo and Ergo reserves. So we have now bridges. So you may use Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and so on, right? To build reserves. So it could be. So you know now, well, banksters are well using Bitcoin to build reserves, right, to put it on the asset sheets and doing well traditional bankster stuff. But yeah, with Ergo, what's possible, and I think that's the next step to adoption, is to build reserves for community, for well sovereign finance, right, for individuals, and yeah, use Ergo and other blockchain assets, tokenized real world assets, and so on. For yeah, for
Alex, hold on a second. Stop. Listen, you are clearly an expert on Ergo because you are the lead dev, right? And there is so much that this project can do. I want to. I'm interrupting you because I want to understand something better. These community reserves. How would that work if I hold Ergo?
right.
Or I'm an. What would I use it? How would it work? What's the advantage of it?
What advantage of sorry using Ergo?
Using Ergo to create, like, I could have Bitcoin reserves.
Right.
How does that explain that? I'm fascinated. How does that work?
Yeah, but so if you have Ergo, right? So first you may do on-chain stuff, but that's possible on Ethereum and so on, right? But here it's about proof of work assets. But yeah, well, what's the next step? I believe is to have off-chain systems as well, like Bitcoiners are trying to do now, like cash mint and so on. But yeah, with Ergo, it's possible to use Ergo, right, as assets with minimal trust on Ergo blockchain, as well as other assets. So yeah, well, back in 2020 there was no bridge, and now well, there are bridges on Ergo as well. So you may use bridged Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. And yeah, well, that's quite amazing, right?
Yeah, so I could bridge Bitcoin, Ethereum. You also said Cardano onto the Ergo blockchain, and then transact.
Right. Yeah, you may move back, or even more, you may move Bitcoin, for example, to Cardano using Ergo blockchain as data layer, basically, right, as a consensus layer for bridging events.
Okay, and the bridges, are they decentralized? The bridges on Ergo?
Yeah, well, it's two-layer, it's federated bridge, right? So one layer is some well, smaller subset federated multi-sig with yeah, trusted participants, but then there is a bigger second layer of watchers, right? And you may become watcher, and yeah, well, you may provide reports of misbehavior of the first layer, the guardian layer, right? So, well, it's quite unique, I believe, for two-layered bridging, and well, it's definitely superior, I think, to some small multi-sig options like wrapped BTC, right, which is just like 2 out of 3 multi-sig, or liquid, for example, which is also about the same, 2 out of 3 or something like that. So here you have 2 layers of massive multi-sig, and you may participate in one of the layers.
Right. Okay, and then that keeps hopefully that keeps everybody honest, because one of the challenges that I've heard about bridges is they're not fully decentralized.
Yeah, but the devil is in details, right? So usually, a breach is about just a few parties able to sign, co-sign, right? And then, yeah, what do we have in that space? So it's usually not about some malicious collusion, even, right? But just because there are few key holders, so hackers are getting enough keys, right, via social engineering and so on. So if it's about 3 out of 5 multi-sig, then, or 2 out of 3, then hackers just need to get 2 keys, right? And that's often possible. I'm not telling about cases like wormhole breach hack on Solana, which was about bad Solana SDK, multi-sig SDK. But when blockchain layer is good, right, and the SDK is post to applications, then it's usually about just a few keys, right, and often they got intercepted by hackers.
Right. Okay. All right. So that's the bridge. You can transport Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano on and transact on Ergo. What else can people do using Ergo? What are some of the applications?
Yeah, sorry, Binance Smart Chain and Dogecoin is coming. Dogecoin support.
Oh, that would be good. Dogecoin running that on Ergo.
Yeah, so with that bridge, for example, you may bring life to your passive Dogecoin back, for example, by lending out your Dogecoin. In Ergo DeFi, right? So, by using Dogecoin as a resource for private off-chain cash, why not? If people are trusting such kind of asset. Then, what else is possible? You might trade Dogecoin, right? So using it in the lending, borrowing. There is stuff which maybe quite unique to Ergo as well, right? So, over the years, we are getting more and more quite unique features in the ecosystem. There are financial games which we are calling Degen Finance, like Hodl Coin game, where you may put for your Dogecoin, for example, into this game, right? And you are getting profits, guaranteed even profits, if you are a strong enough holder, right? So if you are redeeming after other game participants.
Okay. So now has that launched or that's about to launch this game?
Hodl Coin, it's around for almost 2 years, probably, or something like that. So, like, I don't know, 1 year and a half, something like that.
Right.
So yeah, that's around for a long time. So yeah, I mean, our last talk was back in 2020. So maybe you are quite wondering, right? I mean, why so many things around? But yeah, so we've got quite impressive, I believe, DeFi stack since 2020.
Yes, I'm looking on the website ergoplatform.org, and your ecosystem really has grown with more to come. But I'm fascinated by this game. So Hodl DeFi, is that what it's called?
Hodl Coin.
Hodl Coin. So what I would do is I would deposit Ergo in the smart contract for Hodl
Right.
Coin, and then I would receive passive income?
No. So it's a game of hodl. So it's well, in case of Ergo Bitcoin, you cannot get passive income, right? I mean,
Right.
because well, there is no staking and so on. So the game is working as following. It's about common treasure. So, for example, you and me playing the game, right? So I put my Erg. I'm getting a hodl Erg token, right? And you put after. Then, for example, I'm not that strong hodler, so I'm redeeming my Erg, and then I'm paying some fee, right? Redemption fee. And that redemption fee is going to treasury, and because of that, so the price of hodl coin is going up, right? So when you redeem, you are getting my fee basically.
Okay, very good. Very
So,
good, very interesting.
it's game of hodl. So it's yeah, we have some games like that, and yeah, it's called Degen Finance because it's purely Degen, but not that Degen probably as those crazy casinos on Solana, right? So they're usually about rocks. But here you just have some I don't know, clearly defined game, and then yeah, it's up to you whether you are a strong hodler or not so strong, right? If you are strong,
Right.
then you are getting appreciation in form of that redemption fee being redistributed.
Okay, understood. Now, if somebody wanted to buy Ergo, where's the best place to get Ergo?
Buy
Yeah,
uh,
if somebody wanted to get some Ergo,
right. Yeah, so I think the best option is to use decentralized exchanges, right? Because, well, centralized exchanges is complete disaster, well, at least to me. So the best liquidity currently is on Cardano decentralized exchanges. So if you can use them, then go there. Otherwise, well, there are liquidity pools on Uniswap, Ethereum. Then there are centralized exchanges such as Hobby, Gate.io, KuCoin, CoinX,
yes.
yeah, Bitmart, and so on. So yeah, quite a lot. Then yeah, you can also bridge assets to Ergo and use Ergo decentralized exchanges on Ergo, such as Mu Finance or Ergo Dex. Then there are some services, instant swap services, right? I'm not quite familiar with them, but there are a few of them. So, well, these days there are more options definitely than back in 2020, and well, happily they are more decentralized also, right? Often.
Yes. Now that okay. Now the on the website ergoplatform.org, there's a page with all the exchanges that Ergo is available on, including the decentralized and centralized exchanges and the aggregators. So I'd recommend people go to ergoplatform.org to find out more and do your own due diligence. This isn't like go and sell everything and put it all into Ergo. You do got to check this out. Okay, now what is the most, I suppose, used platform or application for Ergo? Where is, apart from the exchanges?
Decentralized exchanges, I mean, so dark pools quite popular, so it's pooled lending application. Then yeah, what else? Bridge for sure, right? So, well, people are sending assets, and not just to Ergo blockchain or out of the Ergo blockchain. So recently there was a coin launch for Palmyra, which is real world assets tokenization platform. Right, and because of some legal stuff, so they launched only on Cardano and Binance Smart Chain, right? So not Ethereum, not Ergo to the moment. Yeah, so anyway, it was multi-chain token launch, and you can use, and people are actually using this bridge, Rosen bridge, this application called. So they're using Rosen bridge to bring Palmyra tokens from, for example, Cardano to Binance Smart Chain or back, depending on arbitrage possibilities, right? So, well, people are sending those tokens, and still transactions, reporting transactions, witnessing transactions are on the Ergo blockchain, right? That's quite beautiful. Anyway, that there is usage of Ergo blockchain, right, as data layer for bridging between Cardano and Binance Smart Chain in that multi-chain token launch. Not so trivial application, right? Yeah, then there are bonds. They are quite popular. Maybe will be in future. There is a stable coin, dollar backed CQSD, which survived a lot of events since 2021, and was always over collateralized, always stable, still stable, doing quite well. There are more stable coins to be launched. Yeah, well, there are NFT marketplaces, decentralized auctions, those games like HODL coin, auction coin, and so on. So yeah, well, quite a lot. But yeah, well, recently also there were some interesting sales on Mu Finance, right, which is about decentralized exchange DEX, but also they have digitals section where people, authorized sellers, are selling some real world stuff, which is quite interesting. So that there were some jars of honey sold for breached Cardano meme coins, for example, right? Which is quite interesting when people are selling real world assets such as honey for meme coins, even.
I would easily swap meme coins for honey. Easily.
Yeah, you need to check. Maybe delivery is US only, but yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, so there were some MacBooks sold for this CQSD stablecoin or X. I forgotten even. Yeah, well, a lot of interesting stuff.
Okay, so it is amazing what you're saying. What Ergo platform, what the ecosystem for Ergo has. The NFTs, DeFi, meme coins, decentralized exchanges, borrowing and lending. And this is from a decentralized community-based project, which hasn't had the sort of publicity or the
Yeah.
investment that, say, Solana or Cardano has.
Right, so there are no VCs here, no ecosystem funds, which I believe is quite valuable in 2025, right? Because, well, there are a lot of scandals around all those entities, right? Well, for all the blockchains, probably.
Yeah, yeah, it's proof of work, so anybody can get involved, download the documentation, and start mining it.
Yes.
And just on the mining, it's ASIC resistant, so
Yes.
people need. It's on a GPU.
Right, so it's still GPU mineable. So you need for like 8 gig RAM GPU, and yeah, then you are fine. You can get your governance rights, right, and also well, mining profits, because miners are governing the network, right, and well,
Yeah.
they are working on protocol updates, so it's not about developers even, right, to update the network. So developers are just proposing miners to update software and watch, right, on the activation of certain features, and then it's up to mine. So it's pretty much like Bitcoin, the same approach. So it's not like, I don't know, Ethereum approach, for example, where miners were just fired by the central committee decision, basically, right? So it's totally different governance, and there are no VCs here, no ecosystem funds. Sometimes it's hard, right? Especially when you compete with other ecosystems which are sponsored, basically, right, by by free money, basically. So, by some stake in profit and so on. So, yeah, it's very hard to compete. But with time, I believe appreciation comes, right? Because free money, after all, are not producing good results, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think there's something to be said for Ergo's commitment to decentralization, especially in light of what's happening in the European Union and in Britain. And I don't know if you're aware, Alex.
I'm not. Please tell me. So.
Yeah. Well, in the European Union, they have announced that they want to create a register of everybody's assets. So if you're a European Union citizen, you will have to, once this register is up and running, you will have to tell the European Union how many Bitcoin you own, whether you have a luxury car, the value of your house, what your savings are. You know, they want a record of everybody's assets. Now, the only reason they want a record of everybody's assets is so that they can tax them. And the only reason they want to tax them is so that they can then use that money to continue building a techno-feudal prison with CBDCs and biometric IDs, and of course to fuel more war. And the great thing about Bitcoin and Ergo is you can't print more Bitcoin or Ergo in order to fuel war. The other thing that the European Union have announced is that in 2027, they aim to criminalize privacy-focused and anonymous cryptocurrencies.
Oh, yeah, but
Britain will do similar, because Britain and the European Union, they're broke. They have no money. They have no way of generating any money because they have no resources. They have no collateral, unlike the United States or Russia or Africa or Brazil. European Union has no resources. So do you want to, I'd like you to comment on how you see Ergo's role as a decentralized cryptocurrency in a Europe and a Britain that's getting increasingly authoritarian.
All right. So in the first place, it seems, it's not surprising then that Monero is getting more and more popular, right? So, I'm actually quite excited that even after delisting from Binance and other tier one centralized exchanges, it's doing so well, right? So the price went up significantly. Well, even when you are measuring in satoshis, right? It's doing very well because it's probably the best kind of promotion, right? And so if EU, Britain will try to make privacy-oriented cryptocurrencies illegal, I think it will be. It will provide significant boost to them, right, to the ecosystems and so on. And I think it's my personal well, opinion, but yeah, well, as far as I know, Rosenbridge guys are on the same page. So it would be good to get Monero support, right, for the bridge to give better access to liquidity, right? So if you can trade Monero rights via Uniswap and so on, then well, delisting from centralized exchanges would provide very limited effect, right?
Yes.
Especially as decentralized exchanges are getting more and more popular. So yeah, well, it's at some point, yeah, well, it would be good. So I'm actually tracking development in Monero and DarkFi, if you're aware of.
No, tell us, and Alex, we have to give a special shout out and mention to Pirate Chain, if only because I'm one of
Yeah.
the crew of Pirate Chain.
Yeah, so our old friends also, yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how much how they're doing these days. But yeah, so in regards with Monero, so currently they are getting on FC MP support, full chain membership proofs, right, which would provide quite superior anonymity in comparison with the current state. Yeah, after FCMP protocol updates, it would be good to take a look on bridging possibilities, right? Then DarkFi. DarkFi is a merged mined side chain. Well, it's the current plan at least for Monero, which is supporting private contracts. Well, it's led by Amir Taki, if you're aware of the guy. So it's a Bitcoin developer back in 2010. So he worked a bit with Satoshi, and well, was a big proponent for privacy and well, certain developments in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Then yeah, left it. Well, it's not uncommon story, right? So when such folks are leaving Bitcoin ecosystem. So yeah, well, it would be good to get connected with such developments, right? And well, what we are doing in Ergo now, right? So soon there will be well, soft forkish core update, which is called just 6.0, which is about, well, in particular, even better support for cryptographic protocols and trustless bridging, trustless Bitcoin relay example, for example, already done. Then yes, so some other class of applications like roll-ups and so on would be more feasible. Then yeah, in few months and next week in public DevNet. There will be a deployment of subblocks, which is about high performance proof of work protocol, right? Bringing fast confirmations, better peer-to-peer network resources utilization to the Ergo network, right? And then after that, so what we are discussing in the community right now, well, is be building some framework for side chains, right? And it would be good maybe to have even a DarkFi side chain for Ergo, right? Because for Ergo itself, well, there is no value to take the privacy road, because, well, in many cases. I believe, well, transparency also does matter, right? So, well, because blockchain, after all, is kind of settlements, global settlement layer, right? So it's not efficient because it's fully replicated database. After all, it's a flat peer-to-peer network, so well, it's limited, right? And it's sometimes those limits considered way too extremely, like done in Bitcoin, right? Where they're having a strict limit for block size. In Ergo, it's possible to lift it up via miners voting, and miners already
Okay.
voted on in the past. It's a settlement layer, and often it makes sense to have some transparent, for example, reserves creation, right, for off-chain private, fully anonymous cash, right? So then, I think such systems, which were predicted by some Bitcoin godfathers, even like Alfinia, I believe, back in 2010. So they make sense. So you have settlement layer, not the most efficient, but also trustless, not controllable by anyone, even by developers, right? And
Wow.
you have reserves created on that digital gold layer. And then you have, for example, private off-chain cash systems, right?
Yes. Alex, that's quite extraordinary, and we haven't even got to some of the other stuff that Ergo platform is developing. And I'll say to people, if you want to find out more, follow them on X, follow Alex on X, also ergoplatform.org, because we've got about 12 minutes left, and I want to cover what Ergo is doing with regards to artificial intelligence, but also RWA, real world assets. So do you want to say something about those two things?
All right. So RWA, I think makes sense also to to provide global settlements, right, where it's needed. So there are guys here like Luca, for example, working on tokenization on Ergo in particular, right? So there is Palmyra tokenization platform startup which are tokenizing different assets around the globe, right? So we're in discussions in regards with tokenizing, for example, mining of lithium, right? And then also using on-chain machinery such as algorithmic stable coins to provide insurance, right, for non-delivery of physical assets. I think, where it makes sense, right? So not just to tokenize something, but also to augment it, to replace banksters, or to provide banksters like capabilities, financial capabilities, right, where they're simply not quite available, like Argentina, Lebanon, for example, or most of African countries, right? So was on a call recently with some guys from Zimbabwe, right? And what they're interested in particular in regards with tokenization is get funding, right, for some small and medium-sized cooperatives which do have land. There are some mineral resources. So Zimbabwe, for example, is having 20% of vault reserves of chrome ore, right? But there is no funding, there is no trust, there is no stable fiat currency even, right? So Zimbabwe is quite known for its ever failing currency. that there is no stable banking infrastructure with established products, basically, because of that. So yeah, that's where I think real world assets tokenization would be useful, right? So to augment it with DeFi. And to provide, basically financial tooling and monetary expansion, but without banksters.
Wow. Wow. So people would be able to invest in all sorts of projects and undertakings using decentralized tokens running on the Ergo blockchain.
Yeah, and also, getting insurance, right, of non-delivery, which is quite important when, we are talking about such things. So
Yes.
I mean, but based on my talks, it seems it's quite the most exciting kind of financial product.
Yes.
Right? So insurance of non-delivery. So a lot of capital, right, is willing to get into such places, but because there are no banksters, right, and so on, the risks are too high. So, if it's possible to reduce them with real world assets tokenization and DeFi schemes like insurance of non-delivery, then it would be a game changer for many places around the globe.
Very good. It would indeed. Okay. And then what about artificial intelligence? What's happening with Ergo with regards to AI?
Oh, so this month there will be another Ergo hackathon. So number 10, and it will be focused on Ergo plus AI. Right. So, there are a lot of aspects here when we are talking about AI in the first place. So, Ergo, I believe, is quite unique about these days, unfortunately, quite unique about amount of open source code, so contract code, off-chain code, and so on. Right. So, then it would be quite friendly blockchain and ecosystem to develop new applications, right, easily with AI. Also, I believe contractual layer is quite friendly to get contracts done with AI. I mean, secure, quite secure contracts. There are some groups in the community working on that. There are some tools which are allowing you to use Ergo blockchain in conjunction with AI, so to analyze blockchain with AI prompts. What I'm thinking about also is to get AI services again in those off-chain economies, right? So to consider AI tokens as kind of currency also, which may be used where needed in conjunction with blockchain reserves. So we'll probably think about that. Maybe write something around the hackathon.
Okay. Okay. And if people want to get involved, again, if you follow Ergo platform on X or join their Telegram group and follow Alex Chepurnoy as well. Alex, is there anything else you want to let us know about Ergo before we finish up?
It's quite warm community, right? So I think it's a community that makes it. So don't hesitate to join community, ask questions. There is no any secret information here. No private information, right? Because it's community powered ecosystem.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you: when did Ergo? When did it launch?
2019. So our first talks were in less than 1 year after the launch, right? When it was super young baby, basically.
Right. So
So
it's been going 6 years. So here's
right.
everybody who's listening, here's a decentralized, open source, community-based project which doesn't have any VC funding, doesn't have an ICO. It just has some really great technology and a commitment to decentralization and financial sovereignty. And 6 years later, it's still going strong. The ecosystem is growing and growing and growing, with a lot more coming in the future. And we are just at the point where I suppose the last 6 months of the Bitcoin 4-year cycle bull run. So I would urge anyone and everyone to take a look at Ergo platform .org. This is a really, really worthwhile project. And Alex, thank you so much for
Right.
joining me, and thank you everybody from the Ergo community. Please share this far and wide. This audio will appear on my channel, on my ODYSEE and Rumble and YouTube channels at some point. Any last words, Alex, before we finish up?
Right, so it's still a baby, right? 6 years after launch, and we will have some events on July 1st when it will be 6th anniversary. So please join as well. And with time, focus is going here and there, but I think the basic principles are still the same, right? So as in the white paper which was published back in 2018 or 19, probably early 19. So basic principles are still the same, right? And it's quite natural maybe to have different accentuation with time, but the message is still the same, right? And it will be the same. Please join the community. And what else? It would be good to catch up more like we did back in 2020.
Well, Alex, you're always welcome to ping me a message on Telegram or via X if you want to come back on my channel, because I think this is a really great project, one worth following. Alex, thank you. And thank you to the coinrepublic.com. Please check them out for the latest in crypto news and analysis. And for everybody who's listening, thank you so much for taking the time out. Please share this far and wide. And have a good day, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crypto Rich. Bye.
Bye-bye.